Elf I am the protagonist template, Invincible Chapter 1 to 20. Chapter 1, Heaven's Reward System. Elf World, Kanto Region, in a courtyard outside a two-story building on the edge of Junshin Town. A slender young man in a sweatshirt with silver-white broken hair fluttering, was holding a notebook, while taking notes, while looking at a different-colored giant stinger not far away, waving double needles with all his strength in the air. The eyes are full of joy. Your different, colored giant needlebee has swung the double needle 10 times, and has gained a little, and the attack ratio value plus 0.01. You have carefully recorded training notes, and you have gained a little, and cultivated experience plus 1. Your different colored hornbee has swung the double needle 10 times, and has gained a little, and the attack ratio value plus 0.01. You have carefully recorded training notes, and you have gained a little, and cultivated experience plus 1. The silver-white broken-haired young man named Bai Zi moved to his mother's hometown from the distant Hejong area 10 years ago with his parents who were still alive at the time, located in Junshin Town in the Kanto region. At present, he is a quasi-elf trainer who has not yet traveled. His parents are now deceased. Do not. It may be too arbitrary to say that he died. When he was 10 years old, what he received was only a notice of missing persons issued by the Alliance. It's life or death. Still up for debate. At this time, Bai Zi was already 15 years old, which was exactly the age when a newcomer trainer in this world was allowed to travel. And just half a month ago, in order to save the shiny hornbee with a steel-like color in front of him, Bai Zi was seriously injured and dying. If it wasn't for being rescued by Dr. Damu who was passing by, I'm afraid he would have died in Wangquan. But a blessing in disguise. When he woke up again, he not only awakened the memory of the previous life, but even activated the golden finger, open black lens bracket the Heaven's Way rewards system close black lens bracket. Similarly, the shimmering hornbee, which only had a color like a steel coating, also voluntarily followed and became Bai Zi's first elf companion. Okay, Big Stinger, take a rest. After completing 100 sets of training of 10 combos with full strength, double needles, Bai Zi stopped the big needlebee, and after feeding it an energy cube, let the other party rest for a while. Bai Zi didn't feel any resistance to the matter of his own crossing. In his previous life, he was just an ordinary office worker who loved elves, but he was alone, without relatives or reasons. Now that he has revived his first life, he has not only awakened his golden finger, but also lives in the elf world he dreamed of in his previous life, and even has his own elf. Bai Zi should not be too satisfied with the current situation. It can be said, is a satisfying system. Open the Properties panel. At this moment, Bai Zi put away his thoughts, put away the notes in his hand, came to sit beside the big needlebee, and meditated in his heart. Immediately, a light curtain that only he could see appeared in front of Bai Zi. Name, Bai Zi. Ability, none. Physical, 7-10 Spirit, 30-10 Strength, 6-10 Agility, 9-10 Note. The peak values of humans in the normal elf world are in brackets. Skills, Cultivation Intermediate, 191,000ths Battle Intermediate, 52 1,000ths Cooking Elementary, 118 200ths. Open black lens bracket item. None close black lens bracket. Elf, Big Needlebee Metal Flash, Elite, Level 21. Skill Proficiency Levels, Novice, Beginner, Intermediate, Advanced, Top, Master. This is the Heavenly Reward System he awakened half a month ago. The so-called Heaven rewards hard work. As the name implies, as long as you put in enough effort, you will definitely get the corresponding rewards and rewards. And Bai Zi, who awakened the Heavenly Rewards System. That's why anything he does can be rewarded accordingly. Taking care of and exercising elves can improve his ability to nurture elves, and elves will also get corresponding attribute enhancements. Commanding elves to fight can strengthen their command of the battle. Proficiency, and at the same time improve the level of elves. Even cooking on weekdays can improve cooking skills. and then let him instantly master the production method of elf food. It can be said, as long as he takes action, he can quickly enrich himself at a speed visible to the naked eye, making him and the elves stronger. This kind of effort pays off, and you can clearly feel the feeling of your progress. It's amazing. Even Baizi and the giant stinger were indulged for a time. In addition to the necessary food and rest, all the other time was used by this person and one elf for training and battles. The results are gratifying. This not only directly increased Baizi's physique by 2 points in the 4 dimensions, but also activated the nurture and battle skills, and brushed it from the entry level to the intermediate level. Same. It also made the original level 10 novice elf Big Needlebee soar. Advanced to the elite. Reached level 21. But Baizi, as a human being, knows the truth that too much is too much. Therefore, after the initial madness, he quickly regained his sanity and stopped this leveling method, which was likely to leave hidden dangers to the elf's body. And after consulting Dr. Damu, he formulated a more scientific training plan. P.S. There are more than 1 million words of the elf novel, The Elf-Attached Master, that has been written without a substitute. The character is guaranteed, please rest assured. In addition, the background of the story and the author of the character design refer to a comprehensive version of anime TV, generations, special chapters and even the King's Memorial. Last but not least, a wave of support. New book upload, please collect. Ask for flowers. Ask for comments. Ask for a recommendation. Many thanks. Chapter 2. Planning, Qualified Trainers. In the final analysis, there is still a lack of real-time investigation methods for the state of the elves. After closing the system panel, Baizi, who was detached from his memory, looked at the large needlebee lying on the side, and said with a sigh. As he said, with the heavenly rewards system that can become stronger with hard work, what he lacks is not the opportunity, but the ability to maximize the use of this opportunity. And it is similar to the data eye, or detection, that is standard for the protagonist in the novel. Status observation means. It is one of Baizi's most in-demand abilities right now. But unfortunately, the heavenly rewards system is indeed powerful, but there is no free lunch. Baizi wants to use this to acquire exploration skills, in addition to hard work, the most important thing, but also a little bit of luck. After all, he has no clue how to develop such skills. Forget it, the boat will naturally go straight to the bridge. It's pointless to think too much about luck. Maybe, in a few days, exploration skills will be delivered to your door. Baizi shook his head, comforted himself, and glanced at the time on the elf watch on his left wrist. 10:45, __. At this point, the large needlebee has rested for half an hour. Beedrill. Without Baizi speaking, it opened its compound eyes on time like a fixed alarm clock, fluttered its wings and came to the air, quietly looking at Baizi, waiting for the next instruction. Seeing this, Baizi's mouth twitched. This was the first elf he saw when he opened his eyes, and it was also the giant stingerbee that he identified as his initial partner. Most satisfied with him. It is neither the rarity of the Shining Elves nor the self-evident excellent qualities of the Shining Elves. It is the super-executive power and consciousness of the other party that is exactly the same as his own. This strong heart. It is the cornerstone of reaching the top. As his heart skipped a beat, Baizi retracted his thoughts and calmly arranged for the big needlebee. The next step is speed training. Just like the previous one, a short return flight in the yard. Let's start. Beedrill. The large needlebee nodded simply. Then, it came to the circle marked on the side of the courtyard, exhaled slightly, the insect wings vibrated instantly, and flew towards another circle more than 10 meters away on the opposite side. And at the moment of arrival, I saw it circle the center with a single needle, and use this as the axis, folded back like clouds and water, and flew in the previous direction. Your heterochromatic hornbee is fully reversing and flying for a combination, with a little gain, speed and race value plus 0.01. The sweet sound of the system kept ringing in Baizi's ears. And his thoughts have already spread out. First, even if he has a golden finger like the heavenly reward system, Baizi does not intend to rein in a large number of elves without restraint to enrich the elves' pool for cultivation. Regardless of whether he can afford it or not. Even if you can afford it. What did he do by subduing a large number of elves? Filling up the elf pool. Achieving an all-in achievement. If he really does. How can there be enough time to establish bonds with all the elves? So, what's the difference between him and Xiaoji's approach? In Baizi's opinion, Ash in the elf anime is completely irresponsible to all his elves except Pikachu. Maybe Xiaoji is indeed kind enough and loves all the elves in this world enough, but the bond between him and his partner is just by thinking about it in his heart. Can he just talk about it? Not enough company. How can elves and trainers really establish an unbreakable spiritual bond? Every time I go to a region, I change a batch of different elves. A new region must have a new beginning, is just Ash's own opinion, and he can't hide his neglect of those former partners. As a trainer, he is not qualified at all, and he can't even be called a trainer at all. Maybe a traveler is more suitable for him. As for bringing all the elves with you, that's even more impossible. Known by Baizi. Some of the rules of this world are closer to the settings of the special Pokemon comics. For example, carrying elves. Unlike the game, there is no death rule that only 6 elves can be carried in reality. As long as the restrictions on the elves' belts are lifted, the 7th elves will not be directly teleported away. Therefore, let alone bring 7 or 8 elves, you are extreme, bring 20 or 30 elves, and no one cares about you. But in this state, can the same love be poured into all elves? The answer is negative. And too many Pokeballs will not only affect the battle, but even the choice of the actual battle will become extremely inconvenient. Likewise, combat can't always be one-on-one. Rather, in the wild, group battles are more common. The 6 elves are actually calculated by human experience and research, and the maximum value that the trainer is most suitable to command the elves to fight at the same time. More. Beyond the limits of human beings. Unless you are like Mazishi, one of the 3 cadres of the rockets in the special chapter, you directly use a large number of naughty bullets as ammunition and put them on a special machine gun, or simply issue the most common skill attack order like self-destruction. Otherwise, carrying too many elves is completely harmful and unhelpful. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 3. High Attack Crispy. Just a target. Therefore, even if Baizi won't train only 2 or 3 elves in a lifetime like most trainers do, he will still strictly control the number of elves to be conquered. Especially in the early days. Putting resources and time into a few carefully selected elves as much as possible will make it faster and easier for Baizi to harvest quality power. Also, in a few days, he will be traveling. In the wild, not only have to face the dangers of nature, the threat of wild elves, as well as unpredictable trainers and evil organizations. Therefore, form a team of small elves with both offense and defense and complementary lineups. For Baizi, is very necessary. Baizi's initial plan was to prepare a quick attacker with strong attack power and obvious speed advantage, a tinker with a large body and excellent dual defense, and a fortress who mastered powerful single-shot tricks and large-scale AoE skills. Of course, a scout hand who is agile and flexible, with excellent perception, and an auxiliary hand who is a team doctor and has rich status skills are also indispensable. Not only that. In this team, it is best to prepare 3 types of elves that can be mounted on the sea, land, and air, which are convenient for rushing, chasing, and even escaping. Of course, it would be even better if they could have both fire and water elves at the same time. In this way, it is also convenient for the emergency needs of water and fire. As the last font fell, Baizi paused at the tip of his pen, and after leaving a small point at hand, he looked at it for a while, and then put away the notebook written in Chinese in his previous life. At present, the general ideas and expectations are preliminary drafted. And this one. With a Mega Evolution form, and the evolved attack and speed of 150 and 145, the Giant Stinger is his best quick attacker today. Moreover, in the training and battle these days, even if he didn't have the exploration skills, Baizi was basically able to determine that the characteristic of his own stylus was its hidden characteristic, Sniper. High attack, crispy skin, one-hit kills. The position of the quick attacker in the team is completely competent. What's more, in this real elf world, the battle is not a turn-based game. Crispy. You have to be able to beat it first, it is called crispy. Can't hit. You can only be a target. Precisely adhering to this concept, when Baizi was training the giant hornbee, the top priority was attack strength and movement speed. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. The next day, early in the morning. The soft south wind blows the whole Junshin town with the breath of the forest, and the rising sun heralds the arrival of a new day. You have worked hard for a whole set of aerobic exercise, you have gained a little, your physique plus 0.01. Your different colored hornbee has swung the double needle 10 times, and has gained a little, and the attack racial value plus 0.01. You have worked hard for a whole set of aerobic exercise, you have gained a little, your physique plus 0.01. Your different colored hornbee has swung the double needle 10 times, and has gained a little, and the attack racial value plus 0.01. At this time, Baizi, who had already woken up early, got up to take a bath and eat after performing several groups of daily training with his own hornet. Then, Baizi took out the 3-proof expanded version of the space foldable backpack, which was customized from Shalufu Company at a great cost. The food, purified water, antidote, good wound medicine, energy cubes, tents, sleeping bags, etc. that had been prepared for a long time were packed into it. The combined size was at least half the size of a bedroom. Speak up. It is also thanks to the extraordinary development of space technology in this world. So many things can be fully loaded with only a small one-shoulder backpack, and it will not make you feel the slightest weight, which can be said to be very convenient. Everything is ready. Baizi didn't put the big needle bee on the side into the Pokeball. After casually stepping on the backpack, he got up and pushed the door out. The giant stinger also fluttered its wings and followed closely. However, just as Baizi walked out of the courtyard, he found that outside the courtyard gate, a figure standing indifferently was looking at him quietly. Red. Baizi raised his eyebrows and looked at the childhood playmate he remembered with a strange expression. After all, this is the famous Kai Yi. Fighting man. At the same time, he also remembered that this generation of true Newtown trainers, including himself, a total of 5 people will set off today. Kai Yi, it is one of these 5 people. On such an important day, you didn't get the initial elf right away. It's not like your style, Kai. Baizi smiled and approached to talk. But Kai but slightly shook his head and raised a elf fairway in his hand. The elf in the illustrated book, I have already gone to Dr. Damu to get it first. Oh. Baizi raised his eyebrows, and the moment Chi's eyes swept across the big needle bee, the fighting intent in his eyes suddenly ignited like flames. Originally I just wanted to say goodbye to you today, but now it seems that we may be able to say goodbye in a different way. Do you want to have a fight with me? At this moment, the corners of Baizi's mouth also slowly raised a subtle arc. Of course there is no problem with this, or I can't ask for it. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 4. Dual Red, Big Gain. Not far from the Big Wood Research Institute, in a clearing of woods on the northern edge of Junshin Town. Baizi and Kai stood opposite each other. In this world, there are actually no rules for field battles. That is to say, you can follow the rules of the regular game, or you can bully the less, and a group can besiege each other. However, Baizi and Kai have known each other since childhood. Moreover, in the final analysis, this battle is just a kind of healthy competition between each other, and naturally it is impossible to follow the way of the weak in the wild. Baizi has only one elf, the giant needle bee. And Red. Go, Pikachu, let's fight with all our strength before we go. He slightly pressed down on the brim of his hat, looked at Pikachu lying on his shoulders, and said in a deep voice. Stab. The next second, I saw a yellow electric arc passing by, and Pikachu appeared in the field, landed on all fours, and looked over with war intent. The big hornbee didn't respond, just looked sideways at Baizi slightly. After Baizi nodded slightly, it just fluttered its wings. Moment. From static rotation. Appeared in the arena, indifferent to Pikachu. At this moment, with the sound of wings spreading suddenly above their heads, Baizi and Kai also issued their respective orders at the same time. Big Needle Bee, gather Chi. Pikachu, use a flash of lightning. With the two people's orders, the two elves also moved. Tilde. Half a month of getting along with each other has already made a preliminary tacit understanding between Big Needle Bee and Baizi, so after Baizi gave the order, he raised his head straight up almost like a consonant. He stared at Pikachu who was rushing towards him. Speaking of which, although there is no exploration skill to know the specific attributes of Kai Pikachu, but just by the speed at which it burst out in an instant, Baizi knew that the level of this Pikachu might not be inferior to that of his own Hornet. And this moment, the Pikachu in the field has already rushed to the front of the giant Needlebee with the help of inertia, but when he saw that he was about to hit the giant Needlebee, the giant Needlebee completed the gas gathering one step ahead. At the same time, Baizi's second order followed, use random strikes. Tilde. A small circle of cyclone burst out from the whole body of the big Needlebee. Under the faint white air glow, the double needles were like guns, turning into layers of gun shadows. Cotton soft belly. Pick up Tilde. Pikachu let out a painful cry, and the double needle attack after gathering gas almost made it almost incapacitated, curled up, and was shot down from the air like a cannonball. Pikachu. Chi's face changed suddenly. Baizi, the big Needlebee, had a short time to gather Chi completely beyond his expectations, and the power of the double needle also shocked him fiercely. But he quickly adjusted his mentality, and quickly ordered, use the electric shock to stop it. Stinger, the yellow electric light suddenly rose, cut through the air, and hit the giant Needlebee that dived down and pursued spontaneously. Obviously, it was in the name of blocking the pursuit of the big Needlebee, and took the opportunity to adjust the intention. But Baizi naturally couldn't do what the other party wanted. While you are sick, I will kill you. Since he has the first mover advantage, it is impossible for Baizi to miss the opportunity to expand the battle situation. Big Needlebee, use rage. Go straight down. Tilde. The moment the order was given, the big Needlebee did not hesitate in the slightest. After a layer of red light ignited outside the body, it went straight to the blazing lightning. And in the painful hissing sound, he was smashed by the voltage and caught up with Pikachu, who had not yet landed. Final blow, use the double needle. Baizi ordered coldly. Anger skills can make oneself after being attacked, turn to strengthen their own attack ability. On the field, the voice fell. Next second, the two cross-shaped streamers cut through the void, almost simultaneously hitting the abdominal wound caused by Pikachu's previous random blows, stunned Pikachu heavily to the ground, and smashed a small pit. Pikachu lost the ability to fight. And at the same time, you commanded the Hornet to defeat the trainer Red Pikachu, battle experience +10, physique +5, Hornet level +1. Ding! You have completed your first victory and received a reward for your diligence, ability. Baizi's power. Ding! Defeat the Son of Destiny, Special Additional Reward, Destiny's Guardian Contract. First Victory Reward. Are there additional rewards? Baizi was slightly taken aback. He immediately guessed. So, in addition to daily training and learning, there will be additional rewards for doing certain things. And there is a special additional reward for defeating Child of Destiny. Baizi's eyes flashed, and he thought secretly in his heart. To know. In this elf world, which is suspected to be a combination of comic specials, anime, games, and even official game fan adaptations, there are quite a few existences that can be called Children of Destiny. Indulge for a moment. While Kai was in the middle of dealing with Pikachu's injury, Baizi restrained his thoughts a little, while he also took out the wound medicine and smeared it on the giant needlebee, and on the other hand, he took the opportunity to check the information of the ability with the same name as himself. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 5. The Power of Baizi, the Increasing Difficulty of 6-Dimensional Improvement. Open Black Lens Bracket Ability. The Power of Baizi, the ability to detect information about things, identify good and evil, eliminate negative emotions and soothe the mind. Good guy. After reading it, Baizi's eyes suddenly brightened. I was just thinking about the exploration skills yesterday, and I sent it directly to the door today. And not only that, in addition to his ability to detect his thoughts, this so-called power of Baizi also has the power to distinguish between good and evil, and to eliminate negative influences. This will definitely help Baizi in his field trips later. Don't say anything else. The ability to distinguish between good and evil alone can allow him to avoid a lot of sudden dangers in the wild, and will not be injured by the violent wild elves. Moreover, when faced with the treacherous people's hearts, he has an almost prescient judgment. Benevolent or malicious. From now on, you can check it at a glance. As for the last ability to remove negative emotions and soothe the mind. Baizi. Just as Baizi's thoughts were flying, Kai had already dealt with Pikachu's injury, and walked in front of Baizi. You and your big stinger are really strong. Whether it's the use of skills, or the use of the opportunity. Judging and decisive, this time, I am willing to be defeated. However, Baizi, next time we meet, I won't lose again. Because of my goals. Being the strongest trainer in the world. Saying that, he raised his fist and stretched it out in front of Baizi. Snapped. Baizi chuckled lightly, and raised his fists to reach it. His fists collided lightly, making a crisp sound. Then let me wait and see, but the throne of the strongest trainer is also bound to be won by me. Kai didn't say anything more, but his red eyes became more and more bright. Then, after taking a deep look at Baizi, he simply retracted his fist, turned and walked towards the depths of the Victory Forest. And on his shoulders, Pikachu has emerged from the decadence of defeat. At this time, he also faced the direction of the giant needlebee, waving his hands full of energy and grabbing. Pika Pika, Pikachu tilde. That look of disobedience. It was obvious that he was saying something cruel to the big needlebee. But the calm, even indifferent, giant stinger did not respond. Still suspended in midair like a sculpture. On the other hand, seeing this, Baizi couldn't help but chuckle and said, "This little guy is exactly the same as Kai, a guy who won't easily admit defeat." Speaking of which. Suddenly, Baizi, who was curious about the other party's attributes, focused slightly, and in his eyes, no one could see the brilliance of light flashing in his eyes. Race, Pikachu, partner. Attribute, electricity. Feature, static electricity. Level, elite beginner, level 20, 75/100ths. Potential, champion. Open black lens bracket HP, 45-35 attack, 80-55 defense, 50-40 special attack, 75-50 special defense, 60-50 speed, 120-90 note. normal in parentheses the 6-dimensional value of Pikachu, the value less than 1 point is not displayed. Skills: electric shock, lightning flash, flash, electromagnetic wave, electric ball, faint. Genetic skill: volt attack. Status: minor injuries, no major problems. Introduction: one of the elves who take on the destiny, has infinite potential and is bound. It turned out to be a partner Pikachu. With a speed attribute as high as 120, it is no wonder that the movements are so agile. Baizi sighed in his heart. Immediately, he turned his gaze to the giant stinger bee that was quietly floating in the air. Race: giant stinger bee, metal flash. Attribute: insect poison. Characteristic: sniper, Monty. Level: elite beginner, level 22, 0-100. Potential: champion. HP: 65, attack, 102, 90, defense, 40, special attack, 45, special defense, 80, speed, 175. Skills: double needle, peck, anger, random attack, chase attack, gas gathering, poison attack. Genetic skill: rapid return. Status: minor injuries, no major problems. Introduction: excellent aptitude and full potential of the Flash Hornby, with a keen perception far superior to that of the same family. The level has been improved by 1 level, reaching level 22, but still has not broken through the elite primary level, and the aptitude is really good, reaching the champion level. To know: in this world's well-known division of elves, aptitude and strength, the champion level is the highest level. And below that, there are 6 levels: Heavenly King, Quasi-Heavenly King, Gym, Elite, Novice, and No Beginner. The characteristics of the giant stinger did not exceed his expectations. It is indeed a hidden feature that can double the damage to 2.25 times after hitting the key, sniper. There are also 6-dimensional properties of the Hornby. With the addition of the talent reward system, it directly broke through the racial restrictions and reached the values of 102 and 100. However, the higher the 6-dimensional value, the more difficult it becomes. At the beginning, one group of double needle stabs every day can increase the attack value by 0.01 points, but after the attack value of the giant bee exceeds 100, it needs to do 10 full sets of double needle stabs to increase the same point. It is precisely because of this that the speed value that was originally far from the attack value quickly caught up. Now the gap between the two sides has narrowed to a mere 2 points. At last. As mentioned in the introduction, the large needle bee of the Flash Spirit is far superior to the keen perception of its kin. If you count the speed and the advantages of flying spirits, which are already good now. The big stinger bee can even serve as a scout in the team. After observing the data of the big needle bee, Baizi retracted his gaze with satisfaction, and looked towards the additional reward for the last item. Chapter 6, Unknown Fate, Special Pokeball. The Guardian Contract of Destiny. At this moment, in a certain corner of this world, an unknown legendary elf has established a fate with you. Find it and it will become your guardian elf. Baizi was speechless. Things are naturally good and easy to understand. Simply put, it is to tell Baizi that from this moment on, a legendary elf has established a fate with him. As long as he finds it, he will give it away for nothing. But legend has it that elves are always elusive and hard to find. Even if Baizi is hanging on the plot, but without accurate identity information, it is almost no different from finding a needle in a haystack. That is to say, unless the other party can sense him, take the initiative to come over. Otherwise, it's all about luck. Forget it, I can't run away anyway. Since fate has been established, we will meet one day. Shaking his head, Baizi temporarily took the stinger bee back into the luxury ball he purchased for cultivation. Turn around and walk in the direction of the Oki Research Institute. It's getting late. He should also go to Dr. Damu as soon as possible to get the elf illustrated book, and by the way, see if he can intercept the other people who also set off today, and brush a wave of destiny rewards. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. At the same time. Woo tilde. In an unknown crystal clear land, a smaller figure slowly floated up and jumped up, stared in one direction for a long time, and jumped off the cliff. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. What? Is there not even a little fire dragon? On the other side, as soon as Bai Zi opened the door of the Damu Research Institute, he heard Xiaoji's very recognizable voice. Go through the front yard. After entering the laboratory. At the sight of them are Dr. Damu in a white coat, and Xiaoji, who is full of decadence and dressed in green pajamas. Dr. Ogi, Ash, good morning. Bai Zi nodded politely, and then said, I'm here to collect the elf illustrated book. Xiao Baize, you are so self-disciplined that you can be late, which is a bit unexpected. Dr. Damu sighed softly. Yes, brother Bai Zi. Xiaoji also nodded his head and said, it's a bit late, I don't even have the initial elves, I'll forget about it, brother Bai Zi, you are so powerful, it's really a pity. Is that so? Bai Zi swept his gaze to Dr. Damu, who was on the side. Seeing that the other party turned his eyes away a little embarrassedly, he laughed lightly, it's okay, anyway, I already have a large needle bee. Having said that. But Bai Zi knew very well that no matter how early Xiaoji and himself came, they would not be able to get the Yusan family under the alliance in the hands of Dr. Damu. Because I want to obtain the royal 3 elves that are delegated by the alliance. So. Your parents must first have a clean family background, and they also need to register you within 1 week after your birth, and pay the so-called training fee of 100,000 alliance coins to the alliance every year until you become an adult 15 years old. Only in this way, you will be able to receive the royal 3 elves assigned by the alliance on the day you set off for your trip. And, get the special treatment of free board, lodging and medical treatment at any elf center. Otherwise. Do you think that the Elf Alliance is a shantang, and there is no benefit? How can they allow you to enjoy so many benefits? And Xiaoji's mother, Hanako, obviously does not have the ability to pay such a high fee for Xiaoji. Certainly. There is also a castrated version. The conditions are the same, but the cost is only 1/5, which is 300,000 alliance coins, and you can also register as an alliance trainer. It's just that the elves need you to figure out a way. And Xiaoji, it's this one. The reason why he was able to get Pikachu from Dr. Ogi in the anime. It is completely out of Dr. Ogi's own pocket. The elf that he captured and researched was given to Ash as a starting elf. Otherwise. Xiaoji is afraid that he will go to the wild to catch green caterpillars empty-handed, like many young insect catchers. As for Bai Zi himself. He was originally registered in the United States and paid an annual, training, fee. But then things changed suddenly. The cultivation fee of Bai Zi was temporarily interrupted. Although now I can get the elf Pokedex, I still need to make up the remaining 500,000 alliance coins if I want to receive the initial royal 3. But after the memory is restored. Bai Zi, who owns the heavenly reward system and the shining giant needle bee, does not lack the Yusangia with unknown qualifications, so he simply asked Dr. Damu to help with the qualification transfer, lowered the training fee by 1 notch, and recovered it from the alliance 700,000 in fees. Exactly, he can subsidize his waning wallet in order to buy all kinds of top nutrition and ingredients for the giant needle bee. Thoughts fly. Dr. Ogi has already brought out a palm-sized red electronic notebook and 7 pellet-sized Pokeballs. Hey, these are the Pokedex and 6 Pokeballs, you can put them away. Bai Zi stretched out his hand to take it and was about to put it away when he suddenly realized something was wrong. He looked carefully. Moment. Only then did he raise his head with a strange expression and ask. Dr. Damu, you seem to have given me an extra, quite special Pokeball. dash 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 dash. Chapter 7. Cursed Ball, Ash and Pishin. This is a pure black Pokeball with an imperceptible dark glyph. Perhaps it is because the power of Baizi still needs to be improved. At this time, Baizi couldn't detect the information of this brand new Pokeball beyond all Pokeballs he knew. But obvious. This should be a special Pokeball. And since Dr. Damu handed it into his own hands, he should have some understanding of it and his intentions. Sure enough. This is entrusted to me by a friend many years ago, let me make it, and give it to you. It's called the Cursed Ball. It's a Pokeball specially made for ghost elves. Dr. Damu said part of the information with a nostalgic look on his face. And then, he suddenly changed his face, and said with a teasing look on his face, as for who he is, I can't tell you this for the time being. One day, you will know him. Baizi rolled his eyes, but he didn't ask any further questions because he thought it was the temper of the old urchin of Dr. Damu. He put the elf picture book in his coat pocket. The 6 red and white balls were thrown directly into the corner of the backpack. Although not rich, but in order to provide the best living environment for his elves, he still bought 6 luxury balls costing 20,000. Therefore, these ordinary red and white balls of 200 alliance coins are naturally useless. As for this particular cursed ball, when Baizi picked it up, he found a flexible translucent silk thread linked above, so he simply hung it around his neck and used it as a decoration for the time being. Do it all. Baizi took 2 steps back and watched with interest as Xiaoji and Pai Shen met and interacted for the first time. The next scene did not exceed Baizi's expectations. Today's Pishin is still an undisciplined, maverick guy. Therefore, in the face of Xiaoji's extended hand of friendship, he directly responded with an electric shock, greeting, and even Dr. Oki on the side was affected. But Baizi could see it. This electric shock seems to be quite powerful, but the power can only be said to be thunder and rain, and it did not hurt Dr. Damu and Xiaoji at all. This control is enough to show the talent of the skin god. Funny little guy. With a smile in Baizi's eyes, he immediately activated Baizi's power and focused his investigation on the skin god. In an instant, a series of data appeared from Pikachu's body. Race, Pikachu. Attribute, electricity. Feature, static electricity. Level, beginner novice, level 10, 25/100. Potential, quasi-god. HP, 35, attack, 55, defense, 40, special defense, 50, special defense, 50, speed, 90. Skill, electric shock. Genetic skill, volt attack. Open black lens bracket condition, good close black lens bracket. Introduction, one of the elves who undertake the destiny, although it seems ordinary, but when it is strong, it will be strong. Occasionally, it will burst into the power of skills far beyond its own level, and it is bound. Should it be said that it is a skin god, in terms of aptitude, it even surpasses my big hornet and red Pikachu, reaching the level of a quasi-god. Looking at Pishin's data, Baizi's eyes narrowed slightly, and at the same time he couldn't help but sigh. In this world, according to Baizi's knowledge of the division of elves, strength and level, from low to high, they are beginner 0 to 9, novice 10 to 19, elite 20 to 34, gym 35 to 49, quasi-king 50 to 59, king 60 to 69, champion 70 to 79, and quasi-god 80 to 89, third level god 90 to 99, second level god 100 to 109, first level god 110 to 119, and the last god of creation 120. Among them, the potential of the vast majority of elves is only novice or elite level. If you can get away with the gym level, it can be said to be burning high incense. But who would have thought? A Pikachu who was caught by Dr. Bigwood from the vibrant forest and was prostituted by Xiaoji, turned out to be a quasi-god potential. If this is to be known to those new trainers who have paid the money, but generally only get an elite and a gym-level potential U family, then don't cry to death. But the aptitude of Pishin is high. Quasi-god aptitude is indeed enough to kill more than 99% of ordinary elves in seconds. But as long as he thinks of its special talent, that will automatically wash some every time it goes to a place, Baizi has no idea of envy at all. Even, he is a little pitiful for Xiaoji. Forehead. Maybe not. Maybe because of this person and an elf can be considered to complement each other. Was thinking. At this time, Xiaoji has received the Pokedex from Dr. Ogi and 6 Pokeballs including Pikachu's. Then, he ran to Baizi excitedly. Brother Baizi, now I have become an elf trainer, come and have an elf battle with me. Okay. Without waiting for Dr. Damu, who was beside him, to dissuade him, Baizi agreed. Although he didn't bother to bully a rookie like Xiaoji who didn't understand anything. But the destiny rewards that Xiaoji may have on him is too tempting. Baizi had to, reluctantly, to play with Xiaoji. Speaking of which, I don't know what kind of reward Xiaoji can contribute to himself. Think of this. He was suddenly looking forward to it. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 8. Crushing Skin God, 24-hour lucky buff. In that case, you come with me. Seeing that he couldn't stop it, Dr. Ogi sighed and took the two to the simple battlefield depicted by white lines in the backyard. Both sides stand. It's different from Ash's excited expression. Baizi calmly took a shrunken pokeball from his belt, tapped the button, and the ping-pong ball-sized pokeball instantly expanded to the size of a fist. Then, Baizi pointed the direction of the button to the field. Come out and play with them, Stingray. A red light flashed through the black and yellow luxurious ball, and immediately after the red light was emitted, the unique, slender, metallic figure of the giant needlebee appeared in midair. The eyes are cold, the needles are like guns. Like a warrior of the age of God, standing in the sky. An invisible and astonishing sense of oppression immediately swept across the audience. Not only Dr. Ogi's gaze, but even Pikachu, who is still a bit of a slut, was instantly facing a great enemy. What a strong courage, to be able to cultivate the giant hornbee to such a degree in such a short period of time. This boy Baizi is really hidden. As expected of. Dr. Damu sighed, but at the end, he stopped his words a little unfinished. And at the same time, in the face of such astonishing courage of the big needlebee, Xiaoji looked as if he didn't realize it. He even took out the elf picture book with a cheerful look. And aimed it in the direction of the hornbee. The hornbee, the poisonous bee Pokemon, evolved from the iron shellcoon, and the poisonous needle on the tail is very dangerous. So it's called a giant stinger. Xiaoji suddenly realized, but then he suddenly asked with a puzzled expression, but, why is the appearance of Baiziji's big stinger bee different from the one in the illustrated book? That's the flash sprite. Dr. Damu on the side explained, it belongs to the special species born in the elves for various reasons. Generally, it will have some unique features. So that's how it is. Xiaoji looked like he didn't understand, but he quickly put it behind him, pointed excitedly in the direction of Big Stinger and shouted, Pikachu, use. What skills does Pikachu have? The corners of Baizi's mouth twitched, and Pikachu and Dr. Ogi, who were still like enemies, couldn't help but swayed. Forget it, I won't play with you anymore. Baizi patted his forehead with a speechless face, and waved his hand to the large needlebee who was standing like a javelin in the void. Whoosh! Almost at the moment when Baizi's order was issued, the large needlebee, who had been indifferent and silent, came to Pikachu in an instant. Smashed heavily on the courtyard wall. The smoke dissipated. The large needlebee slowly retracted the needle. And Pikachu, at the same time, slipped from the wall and fell to the ground, completely losing the ability to fight. You commanded the Hornet to defeat the trainer Ash's Pikachu, battle experience +3, strength +5, Hornet attack +1. Ding! Defeat the Son of Destiny, get additional rewards. Lucky Day 24 hours, get immediate effect. Lucky Day. Baizi raised his eyebrows and looked at the Lucky Day buff that suddenly appeared in the personal panel. Immediately, Lucky Day, in the next 24 hours, you will get a super lucky bonus. Sure enough, is it something that enhances luck? I just don't know where it will manifest itself. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. Say goodbye to Ash, who was a little decadent after his first failure, and Dr. Oki who helped treat Pikachu. Baizi left the courtyard. Soon. He stepped off the #1 road and headed for the wild forest in the direction of Jobin City. Have to say, the natural features of the elf world are really refreshing. Along the way, although I did not encounter any other elves except the green caterpillar, the little Lotta, and the family birds like Bobo, under the gentle breeze, Baizi the mood is still very good. Of course, the most important thing is the continuous good luck after he went out today. Just like now. As the sun went down, Shirazawa was about to find a space to make dinner and take a break. As soon as the automatic inflatable tent was fixed, I felt my feet slumped, and as soon as I lifted my feet, I found a brown-gray stone diamond composed of countless triangular cross-sections. This is a rock gem. Baizi picked it up skillfully, and after examining it carefully, he recognized the origin of this thing. This is a very rare attribute item. After being carried by the elves, the power of rock-type moves can be strengthened only once. In addition to this rock gem, since he left Junshin Town until now, he has picked up such as inferior fire stone, a bag of star sand, a heart scale, and a lot of gold beads and large pearls. These things are added together in pieces. Hang on the elves to sell online. At least it can bring nearly 3 million income to Baizi. Of course, the big head is naturally the attribute item rock gem from Baizi's hand. This type of elf props has always been priceless. Even if this is just a one-time attribute gem prop, and Baizi is only estimated according to the lowest price on the elf online. That's it. There is also a minimum price of 2.8 million. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 9. Dinner, Discover Zoroha. Satisfied, he put away the hard rock. Baizi hummed a little song, handled all kinds of ingredients sensitively, set up the stand, lit the fire, and then started to make today's dinner. And at the same time, you have completed a synthetic steak, you have a little income, cooking experience +2. You have completed a fruit platter, you have a little income, cooking experience +2. You have made a thick soup, you have a little income, cooking experience +2. You have completed a piece of elf food, a little income, cooking experience +3. It didn't take long for dinner to be officially finished. Baizi quickly placed the food on the plate, and then released the hornby that was nursed in the pokeball. At this time, the not-so-serious thunder and lightning burns on the giant stinger's body had completely healed, and not even a single scar could be seen. After all, the injury wasn't serious. Baizi's treatment was also quite timely. Big Stingray, come and eat. After saying hello, Baizi casually sat cross-legged on the paved cushion, cut off a piece of beef on the low table, took a bite, and his mouth was full of fragrance. Not bad, worthy of being the top 5A grade synthetic beef, meat. Juicy and fragrant. Quote. Of course, my cooking skills also contributed. The big needlebee ignored Baizi's self-promotion and boasted, and it also landed on the cushion and put the double needle on the table. Form a triangular stance with the tail to support the body. Then, with a very elegant but capable attitude, he quickly wiped out the elf food in front of him that sprinkled 2 types of slow poisonous insects with the best energy cube powder. And right now, Susu, there was a sudden sound of rustling branches and leaves from the surrounding grass. Then, a small head popped out of it. Walking grass, little rattas, green caterpillars, gophers, trumpet buds, and even a pair of Nidoran and Nadona, a rare sight on the edge of the woods. A few little guys stared at the various foods on the low table as if they were greedy, apparently attracted by the aroma of the food. Seeing this, Baizi immediately smiled. He took out some general-purpose instant food elf ingredients from his backpack, thought about it, took out the grinder, ground some energy cube powder and sprinkled it on, and added some tree fruits. It was placed on the grass. You have made 2 elf food platters. You have a little income, cooking experience +5. With the prompt sound beside his ear, Baizi took a few steps back and said with a chuckle, "Eat it." Several elves looked at each other for a while. After all, he was still unable to resist the temptation of delicious food. Under the leadership of Nidolan, he quickly gathered around them one by one and feasted on them. And this one. The little Lotta seemed to be a little immobile. Baizi focused slightly, and then saw the injury on the left hind leg of this little guy, which was obviously pinched by some kind of pliers with spikes. Such a wound, is it from Pylos? Baizi thought uncertainly. At the same time, he took out a bottle of healing spray and a roll of medical bandages from his backpack and stepped forward slowly. He squatted down at a warning distance of about 1 meter from this little guy, and said warmly, "Little guy, let me treat your injury, don't be afraid, I won't hurt you." While talking, Baizi tried to approach the little Rada. However, the other party's vigilance seemed to be very heavy. Just as Baizi had the intention to approach, the little guy stepped back several steps with a vigilant look on his face. Wow! It even made a soft low roar, obviously rejecting Baizi's approach. But as soon as the cry came out, Baizi was stunned. If he remembered correctly, little Rada's cry doesn't seem to be, "Wow," but, "Pulada," right? That being the case, then this little Lotta. Seemingly thinking of something, Baizi narrowed his eyes, and in his pupils, the unseen brilliance flashed instantly. Race, Zoroha. Attribute, evil. Characteristic, illusion, exclusive. Level, beginner novice, level 12, 88/100. Potential, quasi-god. HP, 40, attack, 65, defense, 40, special attack, 80, special defense, 40, speed, 65. Skills, catch, stare, make trouble, sharpen claws, grab randomly. Genetic skills, imitate, supernatural power. Status, heavy, with dark wounds, hunger, exhaustion. Introduction, Zoroha, who is extremely talented, is underdeveloped due to malnutrition, but his talent is extraordinary, especially his mastery of illusion, which is even far better than his evolutionary Zoroark. Looking at the data panel appearing in front of him, Baizi's breathing suddenly heavier. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 10. Female Fox, Guojing Style Seduction Method. It turned out to be Soraya. Baizi never thought that he would find a wild Zoroha in the outermost area of the Viking forest. You must know that the rarity of this Zoroha who has transformed into a small Lotta and its evolutionary Zoroark can be compared, and even surpass the quasi-god elves in various regions. Its unique illusion ability, if used well, is like a mirror in the elf world. Not to mention, this Zoroha also has the potential of a quasi-god. If this little guy can be subdued and cultivated well, he will have a powerful, phantom tyrant, in the future. Even Zoroark, who is also inclined to attack quickly, may have some overlap with his own hornet. But just based on the predictable auxiliary effects that its characteristic, illusion, can bring, it is absolutely impossible for Baizi to easily let go of the Zorua in front of him. Moreover, this Zorua can appear here. I think it is because of the effect of the lucky day buff. They can meet here. It is simply destiny. Think of this. The pale complexion that was coveted by this Zorua softened even more. He used the power of Baizi in his body with all his strength, using its power to eliminate negative emotions and soothe his mind. Once again, he leaned in the direction of the little guy. Woo tilde. This time, Zorua did not retreat immediately. Because it felt a very warm and comfortable breath from the human body in front of him. Let it relax involuntarily. Even the sense of vigilance cultivated by surviving alone is constantly fading. At this moment, Baizi's palm touched its body, and took advantage of the situation to gently embrace Zorua, who couldn't help but tremble. Zorua did not resist. Seeing this, Baizi was overjoyed and didn't dare to neglect. He hurriedly hugged the little guy and sat back on the cushion. After washing the wound with clean water, he threw aside the healing spray and bandages he had taken out earlier. From the interlayer at the backpack level, a small bottle of green microspray and a roll of gauze less than half a meter long were taken out. These two are full compound medicine and strong bandage. Strong straps are fine. Expensive is expensive. But such a small section is only 6,000 alliance coins. The point was that Baizi was spraying the full compound medicine on Zorua at this time. This thing is said to be made by diluting the spring water of the legendary Fountain of Life, that can bring the dead back to life. The market is still out of stock. The reason why Baizi got it was because he entrusted Dr. Damu and found an old friend to buy a few bottles. Of course, things aren't cheap though. But Baizi didn't feel bad about using it at all. After 1/3 of the wound was applied to the wound, the remaining 2/3 of the fully reconstituted medicine, which could be taken orally or applied externally, all went into Zorua's mouth, and there was no drink left. After Baizi wrapped the powerful bandage. Except for the slight tingling sensation in Zorua's right leg, the pain has completely disappeared, as if the previous pain was just an illusion. You're done. Baizi nodded with satisfaction. A full recombination medicine and powerful bandages, Zorua has always been able to recover quickly, and there will be no sequelae. At this point, after Baizi used Baizi's power to probe, its status can be easily seen in the column. Status: recovering, no hidden dangers, hungry, exhausted. Now that the injury has been dealt with, then it's time for us to fill our stomachs. Baizi casually put Zorua, who was still a small Lada, in his arms, used a knife and fork, and quickly cut the synthetic steak in front of the load table into small pieces. After giving myself a mouthful, he inserted another piece and handed it to Zorua's mouth in his arms. Come on, open your mouth, how about a taste of my craftsmanship? Zorua was a little overwhelmed. This was the first time in his life that he was cared for and cared for. His sapphire-like eyes stared blankly at Baizi's gentle eyes full of smiles. Moment. An indescribable throbbing came from the bottom of my heart. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. After dinner, Zorua did not choose to leave as he expected. After Baizi had packed up the tableware, he took the space backpack taken by Big Needle Bee, and found a brown translucent porcelain bottle from it. Baizi has always been a person who likes to be well prepared. Whatever. He must have enough backhands. And in all aspects, all kinds of reservation plans and preparations will be made in advance, in case of emergency, to deal with various possible emergencies. Therefore, although there is only one worm poison-type giant stinger bee on hand for the time being, he still has a small amount of energy cubes for other types of elves, and even nursing supplies. And what he has taken out from his backpack now is the aromatic essential oil specially used for evil spirits, hair care and antivirus. Intimate, caring, attentive. Baizi couldn't believe it. With his Guo Jing style, teaching and subduing method, a mere little female fox would not obey obediently and take the initiative to follow. That's right. According to Baizi's inference, this Zorua should be a female. Because her changed little Rada beard is shorter, which is also the characteristic of female little Rada. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 11. The Unscientific Skin God, King Feng appears. Baizi's plan was good, but unfortunately, he obviously overestimated Zorua's resistance. He didn't even use all his abilities. Soraya, this little guy. He had already disarmed and surrendered, and fell neatly under his jeans. Wu tilde. At this time, Zorua, who had returned to her original appearance and was rolling in Baizi's arms, looked very charming and cute. Its body is gray-black, its pupils are pale blue, the fur on its neck is black, and the fur on its limbs, around its eyes, and on the flame-like protruding hair on its head is dark red. Overall, there is also a little cunning, but it does not lose the characteristics of evil spirits. After playing with the little guy for a while, Baizi took out a luxurious ball and tapped it on Zorua's forehead. Red light flashes. In an instant, Zorua's package was put into it. Perhaps it was because he was completely attacked. After entering the Pokeball, Zorua didn't even struggle. With a ding, it showed that the subjugation was successful. Not bad, the future illusion master is here. Baizi played with a luxurious ball with a yellow ring tattooed in his hand with a smile on his face. Looking from the translucent crystal shell on the upper half of the exterior, Zorua, who was curled up in a ball, had fallen asleep peacefully. This kind of Pokeball developed and manufactured by Devon Company actually does not have much effect. It is different from special Pokeballs such as overweight balls and diving balls. Luxury Ball. As the name suggests, the ball is to provide the elves with a luxurious living environment and space that is far superior to ordinary Pokeballs. Compared to ordinary Pokeballs, it can be said that it is simply the difference between the presidential suite and the single-person hotel downstairs. Therefore, some things are expensive and expensive. Speaking of which, this lucky day buff is really amazing. In less than half a day, I've already made a net profit of 1 million plus a Zorua, which is hard to find. Tisk tisk, it's beautiful. Put away the deluxe ball with Zorua. Baizi glanced at the remaining time of the lucky day displayed on the personal panel, 1556, and smiled with satisfaction. Dita, at this moment, Baizi suddenly felt a hint of coolness on his face, and then, the raindrops began to fall continuously, hitting the ground and branches and leaves. Is it raining? Baizi raised his brows, and was about to greet the giant Hornby to return to the tent to hide from the rain, when he suddenly raised his head and looked in the direction of the main road leading to Joban City not far away. Beer tilde. The large needlebee also fluttered its wings, as if it also sensed something, and sent out bursts of warning buzzing. Moment, rumbling. The dull roar was accompanied by a burst of dazzling golden thunder, like a long spear tearing apart the heaven and earth, tearing the layers of curtains to shreds. Lie, slot. After a long while, looking at the suddenly clear night sky, Baizi spat out these two words straight from the corner of his mouth. He could of course guess that this was the vision that Pikachu broke out when he initially established a bond with Ash, and used the electric trick to defeat the flock of ferrets chasing them. But to know is to know. Baizi never thought that Pikachu's attack would be so terrifying. This kind of electricity-type trick that changes the celestial phenomenon with one blow, is it sure that it is only released by a novice-level Pikachu? This power. I am afraid that it is no less than the elf overlord of the Heavenly King level. Tisk tisk, such an unscientific electric shock trick, should it be said that it is a skin god? However, since the skin god broke out, then the next one, that one, should be coming. Baizi looked at the rainbow bridge that suddenly appeared in the sky, and saw a colorful bird with golden light flying over the sky. Flying over, sacred and solemn. This moment, Baizi felt as if his soul had been washed, and he was slightly dazed for a moment. Fortunately, he is determined. As high as 30 points, the mental power that is more than 3 times that of ordinary people and the power of Baizi that suddenly circulated automatically in his body made him quickly clear his mind and quickly wake up from the trance. Is this the power of a first-level god? Just looking at it, it turns out. Baizi's pupils shrank slightly, and he looked at Feng Wang who was flying away with fear. After taking a deep breath, he quickly took out the picture book and took a photo of Feng Wang, and at the same time, the brilliance in his eyes slowly flickered. Open black lens bracket race. Ho-Oh main body close black lens bracket. Attribute: fire flying. Characteristic: pressure regeneration Monty. Level: first level god high order level 118, 99 100ths. Potential: level 1 god. HP: 106, attack 130, defense 90, special attack 110, special defense 154, speed 90. Exclusive skill: holy fire. Skills: wind, blowing, weather ball, primal power, life water drop, mysterious guardian, meditation, supernatural power, self-regeneration, sunny day, big character explosion, predicting the future, divine bird slam, burning out. Authority: airflow fate. Status: normal, lack of strength. Introduction: the legendary elf recorded in the mythology, its body shines with colorful rays of light, and rainbows will be formed where it flies. According to legend, those who see Feng Wang will get eternal happiness, and Feng Wang will choose excellent trainers. As a gift to Rainbow Feather as a token recognized by it. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 12. Rainbow Feather, Decisive Killing. Protagonist picture. Yeah tilde. Just when Baizi was using his abilities to investigate Feng Wang's attributes, suddenly, accompanied by the sound of Feng Ming resounding through the sky, Feng Wang, who was flying high above the sky, seemed to feel something, and suddenly turned his head to look in Baizi's direction. Just a simple look at each other made Baizi instantly have the illusion of being completely seen through, and even in a trance, he even had the urge to pay homage. Fortunately, the impulse came and went quickly. In an instant. As King Feng retracted his gaze and quickly disappeared at the end of the sky, Bai Zetsai was suddenly shocked and regained control of his body as if his soul had returned to its place. Huh. After gasping for several breaths, Baizi calmed down slightly. Beer tilde. The big stinger was flying around Baizi with some worry. Although he was not good at expressing his emotions, Baizi was unparalleled to him. I'm fine with the big stinger, it's just. The gap between the legend and the legend has finally been determined. Baizi shook his head and calmed down softly. Only. If you look closely at Baizi's eyes, you will find that at this moment, what is revealed in those obsidian-like eyes is a flaming fighting intent. Wait, one day, as a trainer, I will defeat you in an upright manner. It was at the same time that Baizi made an oath in his heart. Mid-air. A feather shining with rainbow light fell down and was caught by Baizi with one hand. This is Rainbow Feather. Baizi's expression suddenly became a little strange. Because according to legend, obtaining the Rainbow Feather is the proof of being a trainer recognized by Ho-Oh. And according to the information from the previous Pokemon plot, this thing is not only one of the necessary materials to make the GS ball used to capture Shirabi, but even in the theatrical version of the anime, it also has the miracle of reviving life power. In short, this is a very precious and rare good thing. It's just that, like Zie, he has become a trainer recognized by King Ho. Heart beating for a moment. Baizi took out an empty square box and packed the rainbow feathers away. Then, relying on his extraordinary memory, he recorded the data of Ho Wang that he had previously investigated in his portable notebook without a trace. As a first-level god, whose data is naturally luxurious enough. But the main body, marked at the back of his name, and the dazzling, insufficient power, in the status column made by Z have countless reverie about Hoang. Since it is marked as ontology. So, does that also mean that there is still a non-substantial Ho-Oh? And the state of Ho-Oh's inadequate power is also caused by the possible existence of non-native Ho-Oh, which has a weak power. Bai Zi's eyes flickered. Phoenix King. Even Bai Zi himself, who has the perspective of God and opened the memory link, can't really find out what kind of secrets this legendary elves have been circulating in the Guandu area for nearly 1,000 years. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. The next day, early morning. After breakfast, Bai Zi, who packed his bags, set off again. Whether it was the Hornet or Zoroha, he had no plans to put them in the Pokeball. One is for safety. Because you are alone in the wild environment, it is the safest way to release all the elves you carry with you. Otherwise, if you encounter an emergency or an attack by a wild elves, you may encounter problems before you can release the elves. Unexpectedly. For example, the so-called rookie trainer killer Abel. Every year, there will be quite a few rookie trainers killed by snake kisses, and their young lives are taken away by this jungle killer who is poisonous enough to kill people in half a minute. On the other hand, compared with the relatively small space of the Pokeball, most Pokemon prefer to stay outside. This is true even for luxury balls with top-notch comfort. After all, no matter how comfortable the presidential suite is, if it keeps you locked in it, it is no different from going to jail. Therefore, as long as the conditions allow, Bai Zi will try his best to let his elves have enough time to relax, and instead of putting them in the Pokeball, enough company can also increase the bond between himself and the elves. His tilde. The rising sun sheds the sunlight, and just as Bai Zi passed a big tree, a purple shadow suddenly jumped down, with a bloody mouth, and attacked Bai Zi, who seemed to be defenseless. But a silhouette with a shimmering metallic sheen is obviously faster. First come first. Accompanied by the sound of a few sharp weapons piercing flesh and blood, the purple figure that attacked was suddenly pierced by the single needle of the large needlebee that galloped past, and was picked up in the air. At this moment, the fighting style of Big Needlebee's one-shot kill is completely different from the previous two battles. Show it all, kill it decisively. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 13. The first kill reward. The all-around model worker wins speed dog. This is a poisonous arbor. It was pierced through the top of the head from the lower jaw, and the open neck and torso were densely pierced with 17 or 8 bowl mouth-sized blood holes. Such an injury. Even the able monster with extremely strong regeneration ability obviously has no possibility of survival. In fact, the level of this arbor monster is actually higher than that of Bai Zi's big stinger. The reason why he was killed by such a neat spike on the spot. It is entirely because of the battle concept that Bai Zi instilled in the giant needlebees on weekdays, as well as the final result brought about by a series of professional correction training. Wild elves, no matter how powerful, are mostly evolved according to their nature and predation skills. This also led to, when a lot of wild elves are fighting, they are more instinctive. Just like this arbor monster with a rather miserable death. Hidden in the dark, then rely on the super explosive power of the snake to make the fastest raid, and then use its deadly fangs to understand the opponent. This strategy might work well against wild elves that are far weaker than it, or true rookies. But for the strict and professionally trained giant stinger, the flaw is too big. Such an unruly rampage, for today's large needlebees, is almost no different from putting the key points in front of its needles. Even in the eyes of Big Needlebee, the difficulty of killing this arbo monster is far less than the batting game, arranged by the owner to correct its wild way of playing. At least, it is more difficult than, from hundreds of glass beads of different colors, and finding a specific color number from the rapidly attacking glass beads, and accurately finding and breaking them all before they hit the ground, is too simple. And this terrifying jungle killer was killed by a giant stinger, which also didn't make Baizi feel too surprised. Because, possessing more than twice the mental power of ordinary people, he also discovered the sneak attack of the arbor at the first time. Why did not respond? That's all out of trust in his partner, Big Stinger. On the other hand, Zorua, who was lying dozing in Baizi's arms, was taken aback. Although only one night. But from Baizi, the care and love that he had never experienced before, still made Zorua a little addicted to it. So much so that the vigilance that she has exercised for many years in the wild has been greatly reduced. The attack that should have been noticed at the first time, it did not notice at all. Although Baizi was not hurt in any way. But Zorua couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. Directly a run away. Jumping on the dead aber snake, which can no longer be dead, scratched and scratched. Although it seems to have little effect, even the opponent's scales could not be pierced. Baizi laughed a little. Shook his head. He didn't stop Zorua's childish venting actions, but turned his eyes to the light curtain that emerged from the void. Your big stinger killed the wild arbor, and gained a little, EXP plus 10 close black lens bracket. Ding! You got the first kill reward, a king level wind speed dog, which has been distributed to the luxury ball that you carry with you. The wind speed dog of the king level. Baizi's face suddenly brightened. Not to mention that the king level wind speed dog greatly increased his confidence. The wind speed dog alone was enough to make him happy. You know, this is the best road riding elf in Baizi's heart. Its own strength is very strong. Coupled with the handsome appearance and the loyal personality that is one of the best among canine elves, no one can refuse such an elves, and Baizi is no exception. Not only that, the wind speed dog with excellent double attack can not only be competent for the position of the output player, but also one of the best in the joint defensibility of the fire element to resist the attributes of the 6 elements. Coupled with the ability to reduce special attacks such as a loud roar, and the mysterious guardian to resist abnormal conditions, the wind speed dog can also be competent as an auxiliary hand for turnover, and it can be called an all-around model worker. All in all, Baizi is very satisfied with this. And just when Baizi was about to release the wind speed dog from the Pokeball. Woo tilde woo. On the side, he scratched in vain for a while, and Zorua, who was already a little out of breath, suddenly let out a long howl. Immediately after, accompanied by the gathering of surging evil energy, a purple-black shock wave with the thickness of an adult male's arm spewed out from Zorua's open mouth. It directly hit the corpse of the aber monster in front of it. Boom! The roar sounded suddenly. The suddenly rising smoke spreads in the direction of Baizi. Zorua was also pushed upside down by the reaction force of the ultimate move he released, smashed in the direction of Baizi, and was hugged by him in his arms. Swish! An orange-red streamer suddenly passed by. The wind picked up. The smoke was instantly expelled. It revealed the Arbo monster that was blown away several meters away, leaving only the back half of his body, and, on the ground in front of him, the circular pothole full of charred black. This skill is. Baizi had some guesses in his heart, and in order to verify what he thought, he turned his eyes directly to Zorua, who was still a little dizzy in his arms. The brilliance that no one could see, flickered again. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 14. Diablo Blast, Water of Life. Race, Zorua. Attribute, Evil. Characteristic, Illusion, Exclusive. Level, Beginner Novice, Level 12, 88 100ths. Potential, Quasi-God. HP, 40, Attack, 65, Defense, 40, Special Attack, 80, Special Defense, 40, Speed, 65. Exclusive skill, Diablo Blast. Skills, catch, stare, make trouble, sharpen claws, grab randomly. Genetic skills, imitate, supernatural power. Status, general, malnourished. Introduction, Zorua, who is extremely talented, is underdeveloped due to malnutrition, but his talent is extraordinary, especially his mastery of illusion, which is even far better than his evolutionary Zoroark. Sure enough, it's the exclusive skill of the Zorua family, dark blasting. Baizi's eyes were full of surprise, and he could spontaneously comprehend the dark blasting trick at the beginner level, which undoubtedly did not explain Zoroja's talent in skill comprehension. Diablo Blast. This is an evil trick that only Zorua, her evolved Zoroark, and Lunara, who is called the Beast of the Moon, in the Alola region, can comprehend. However, as a legendary elf, Lunara's own attributes are not evil, but superpower ghost. Therefore, it is not wrong to say that dark blasting is the exclusive skill of the Zorua family. And even is an exclusive skill of the Zorua clan. Generally speaking. At least you have to reach the elite level, or even close to the gym level to comprehend. Soraya's performance in this way has proved its own potential, as expected of an elf who has reached the potential of a quasi-god. But Baizi also knew. Even if you have enough potential, it does not mean that you will be able to fully convert the potential into strength. In the process of getting stronger, perseverance, direction, money, resources and even luck are all indispensable. There is no such thing as power that comes for nothing. Excellent qualifications can only determine your lower limit. And only the way of heaven rewards hard work as the cornerstone for you to truly break through the limit and reach the apex. Sizzling beer tilde. At this moment, just when Baizi's eyes were just withdrawn from Zoroja's body, the big needlebee suddenly made a very vigilant insect call, and the voice was full of nervousness like an enemy. Even Zoroya in his arms grinned at the guy who appeared in front of him. There were bursts of whimpering in his throat, and he looked fierce. Baizi looked up. He looked back across the giant stinger bee that was standing in front of him. I saw a huge canine elf with a body size of nearly 2 meters staring in his direction with a pair of piercing brown eyes. The fluffy hair of flax color covers the entire face, neck, chest and abdomen, flying in the wind, like the mane of a lion, looking very mighty. The body is uniform and the limbs are medium long. The torso and limbs with black and orange stripes are similar to those of tigers. Coupled with the hair that surrounds the soles of the limbs and the thick long tail, it looks extraordinarily handsome. Wind Speed Dog. Moreover, based on the perception in the dark, Baizi knew that this was the Heavenly King level Wind Speed Dog that the system rewarded him. Race, Wind Speed Dog. Attribute, Fire. Characteristic, Intimidate, Set Fire. Level, Peak of Kings, Level 69, 99 100ths. Potential, King of Heaven. HP, 90, Attack, 110, Defense, 80, Special Attack, 100, Special Defense, 80, Speed, 95. Skills, Speed, Burnout, Howling, Resurrection, Playful, Help, Fire Wheel, Crush, Revenge, High-Speed Movement, Stare, Flash Charge, Jet Flame, Fire Fang, Lightning Fang, Spirit Fang, Sunbeam, Close Combat. Close Black Lens Bracket. Inherited Skills, Morning Light, Dangerous Clash. Open Black Lens Bracket Status, Perfect Close Black Lens Bracket. Introduction. The Wind Speed Dog with excellent qualifications but the potential has been fully developed, rich in combat experience, and the trainer is in the same mind, die loyal. It actually reached the peak of the king. Baizi was overjoyed at first, but then, looking at the introduction on the last column of the visual panel, he immediately frowned. Potential exhausted. This means that under normal circumstances, it is difficult for the Wind Speed Dog to have any room for improvement. However, since it is a conventional situation, there are naturally unconventional means. The world of elves is vast and vast. In addition to nurturing human beings, There are also magical species such as elves. All kinds of heaven and earth treasures with magical effects will also be nurtured by nature in this magical land. Just like all kinds of magical props and attribute treasures that are hard to find on the market today. They are all made from these natural materials and treasures. Among them, according to Baizi's knowledge, the main material for making full compound medicine, water of life, is exactly a treasure that can cut marrow for elves and improve their qualifications. However, Baizi also knew water of life has always been firmly controlled by the Alliance, except for the manufacture of full compound medicine. To obtain high profits, it will hardly flow out. He's a nobody, and it's not easy to get his hands on the water of life. Or rather, it's as hard as reaching the sky. But it's not entirely impossible. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 15. The Heavenly King Contest, vs the Eagles. Each region of the Elf League has a fairly generous promotion and welfare mechanism in the Tianwang contest, held every 3 years. As the Kanto region where the Alliance headquarters is established, the benefits given to the new kings are the opportunity to soak in the Fountain of Life, any 3 times. And if you want to participate in the King of Champions tournament, unless you are the owner of the gym in your area, or a special investigator directly under the Elf Alliance. The rest of the trainers. You must honestly follow the rules and regulations of the Alliance, break into the top 4 of the Alliance competition at least 3 times and win the title of the Alliance competition champion, in order to be eligible to participate in the Tianwang Hegemony tournament. Of course, if you can get a special invitation letter from the reigning champion of the 4 Heavenly Kings, that's another story. In this way, you can not only directly participate in the competition. You can even skip the pre-selection and go straight to one of the top 16 shortlists for the finals. But it's a pity. Today's Baizi obviously does not meet any of the above. Forget it, it's too early to think about this now. Baizi shook his head. Even if I really want to participate in the Heavenly King tournament, I have to at least finish the 3 alliances of Kanto, Chengdu, and Fengyuan first. Maybe before this, I have found other ways to solve the upper limit of the wind speed dog's potential. Quote. Condition your thoughts. Baizi hugged Soraya, who seemed to want to break free in his arms, and stepped forward to hold Big Needlebee's shoulder in front of him, and said softly, "You too, don't be so nervous, everyone. Buddy, new companion." Saying that, he casually put Zoraya on his shoulders, past the giant stinger, and came to the front of the wind speed dog. "Welcome to this big family, please take care of me in the future, wind speed dog." Wu tilde. Baizi raised his hand slightly, and the wind speed dog lowered his head and leaned over, so that Baizi's palm just pressed against his eyebrows. His eyes were full of foam, and he let out a soft low voice. Wu. Seeing this, Zoraya, who was lying on Baizi's shoulders, didn't even recognize her life. He jumped directly onto the wind speed dog's thick mane, and used all 4 of his legs to climb on the wind speed dog's broad back to play. Stand up. The wind speed dog also didn't care about this, and it was very gentle and generous, even if the little guy on the back was pulling its temples restlessly, it looked like he would let it go. On the contrary, the Big Needlebee is still the same cold attitude as before. It was only after Wei Wei and Fengsugo nodded. Put away the double needle. Continued to be on guard by Baizi's side. No matter when, the big stinger is the calmest one in the entire team. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. After some intimacy, Baizi set off again. And this time, because of the excellent riding elves on the road like wind speed dog, Baizi's legs were finally freed. Not only that, but also liberated, there is also the combat power of the giant stinger. Before, in order to take care of Baizi's safety, after entering the jungle, the giant stinger was not afraid to stay away from Baizi's side. Now, with the addition of Wind Speed Dog, the superpower of the Peak of the King, the giant bee can finally let go of its hands and feet, and use the many wild elves in this forest to practice and upgrade. Your giant bee defeated a Lotta, slightly gained, experience value +2, double needle proficiency +1. Your big needle bee defeated a BB bird, slightly gained, experience value +3, double needle proficiency +1. Your big needle bee defeated a Baga butterfly, slightly gained, EXP +2, double needle proficiency +1. Your big needle bee defeated a Nido king, slightly gained, EXP +3, double needle proficiency +1. Brush all the way. It's not going deep into the interior of the vibrant forest. In the outer area around this ordinary forest, the giant stinger can't find any powerful opponents at all, almost, not its combined enemy. It was not until it was almost approaching the outskirts of Vibrant City that the big needlebee faced a slightly challenged opponent. A bird elf whose level is as high as level 29, and is only a little bit about to enter the elite high level, Beedrill. Big Stinger, move fast. Then use Poison Strike to learn about it. Tilde. Having reached level 25 and learned the latest skills, the giant needlebee suddenly phantoms its body and avoids it from the sharp claws coming from the Beedrill fan. In the next second, the giant needlebee appears behind the opponent like a ghost. The tail needle full of poison pierced into the back of Beedrill. Beep. With a cry of grief, Beedrill's body suddenly froze, and then, Beedrill, whose body had purple poisonous spots spread out, suddenly fell to the ground. You commanded the big hornet to leapfrog and defeated an eagle, and you have gained a little, your battle experience +10, the hornet's experience value +8, the high-speed movement proficiency +3, the poison attack proficiency +3. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 16. The Haunting Zorua, a Great Discovery. Nice job, Stinger. Baizi jumped off the back of the Wind Speed Dog with a chuckle, and at the same time took out a special insect and poison double series energy block from his pocket and threw it to the giant stinger. Then, he took out the antidote and common wound medicine, and simply dealt with the injury for Beedrill. There is another orange fruit that was picked before. Seeing that the other party had a tendency to wake up, he hurriedly jumped back on the Wind Speed Dog's broad back and patted it lightly. The Wind Speed Dog immediately understood. Whoosh! He disappeared into the woods, and the giant stinger behind him also fluttered his wings to keep up. Beep tilde. For a moment, Beedrill jumped up from the ground like an electric shock, looked around for a while in shock, then picked up the orange fruit beside him, and flew away. The other side. Shirasawa, who was not ready to enter Joban City, took a detour through the woods in the direction of the eastern suburbs of Joban City, and went straight to the Joban Forest en route to. As the oldest and most vast virgin forest in the world, there are countless powerful wild elves living in it. The king is considered a tyrant, and champions are not rare. Even the quasi-god elf overlord who has reached the top of the championship is not absent in the depths of the vibrant forest. In the same way, this ancient forest is also bred with a large number of heaven and earth treasures. As long as you are courageous enough and lucky enough, then it is very likely that you will become rich overnight in the Chengpan forest. Certainly. It is also possible that, like countless unfortunate pioneers, they will never return. But for Baizi, nothing exists. Equipped with the buff of Lucky Day and the Wind Speed Dog of the Peak of the King. As long as he doesn't go to the heart of the deepest part of the Viking forest, then he will definitely gain something. The only thing to worry about. It's time, it may be running out, 2:55. Is it less than 3 hours? It looks like I have to hurry up. Baizi muttered to himself a little, then he stopped the Wind Speed Dog, and put the big needlebee back into the elf ball for a while. When he was about to put away Zorua who was nesting in his arms, the little guy directly leaping on Baizi's shoulder, he avoided the recycled red light emitted by the Pokeball. You little guy. Seeing this, Baizi smiled bitterly. Since this Zorua was subdued by him, he has been very clinging to himself. He has to sit on his lap for meals, sleep with him when he sleeps, and even stays in his arms and refuses to come out. This obsession. It made Baizi feel a little dumbfounded. That's all. Holding the Pokeball and the little guy on his shoulders, they looked at each other for a moment, and Baizi, who was finally defeated by the other party's moist eyes, shook his head and shrunk the Pokeball back. Woo tilde. Zorua cheered immediately, then swiftly fled back to Baizi's arms, and rolled as if to please, belly up, with a cute expression on his face. Baizi rolled his eyes, acquiescence. Then, he took out a pair of windproof goggles, and wrapped the little guy in his jacket. Then he leaned over slightly and hugged the wind speed dog. Let's go faster, let's go. Ow tilde. As soon as the voice fell, the wind speed dog suddenly rushed out in a long howl, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. The wind speed dog made a detour all the way, but due to Baizi's endurance, there was no way for the wind speed dog to break out at full speed, and it took about an hour and a half to arrive at the entrance of the vibrant forest. Take a break. Baizetsai released the giant stinger again and stepped into this forest that gave birth to countless lives and miracles. Although it was close to noon, there was still a refreshing feeling to walk in the Vittoria forest. The fresh and comfortable forest wind blew across his face, making Baizi unable to help but take a deep breath, sighing, "It is indeed the living pan forest that is the lung of the elf world. Just breathing the air gives me the pleasure of taking pure oxygen on the top of the mountain." Quote. Susu, while sighing, a rustling sound of trees trembled came again. Baizi fixed his eyes. A rodent elf with protruding incisors, big ears, and purple skin sticks its head out, shaking its long beard. This is obviously a small Rattata. Although the number in the evergreen forest is far less than that of green caterpillars, it is also a ghost that can be seen everywhere. Similarly, this is also one of the best novice elves among the many common novice who can't afford the high training fee and aspire to become a trainer. After all, the power of the sure-killing front teeth wielded by the pair of powerful sharp teeth is quite impressive, and it is considered to be the favorite of the commoners. PFF tilde. This little Rattata obviously also noticed Baizi, and his wine-red eyes flashed with vigilance. After sweeping across Baizi's big stinger bee and wind speed dog, his eyes shrank fiercely. But next second, the next action of this little Rattata surprised Baizi. I saw this little Rattata shrank violently, and then, its body suddenly pulled out a long string of purple phantoms, which disappeared in front of Baizi's eyes in the blink of an eye. This is a flash of lightning. Baizi was stunned for a moment, but quickly denied, no. This is clearly the speed. Lying trough. Little Rattata who can go fast. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 17. The Speedy Little Rattata, Green. First update. Fung Speed Dog, hurry up. Let's catch up. Before he could think about it, Baizi quickly stepped on the back of the wind speed dog again and chased in the direction of Rattata. The wind speed dog has a keen sense of smell that can accurately search for prey traces from hundreds of miles away, and the speed of movement among the elves on the road. Therefore, Baizi was not afraid that he would lose this little Rattata. As predicted. Shortly after going deep into the forest, the wind speed dog intercepted the little Rattata in a clearing in the forest. The big needlebee followed closely behind, blocking the little Rattata's retreat in a timely manner. Squeak tilde. Seeing that there was nowhere to go before and no door to escape, little Rattata's aura suddenly changed. It quickly tightened its body and lowered its body. While making bursts of demonstration-like screams, its foreclaws clasped on the ground. Vice is always ready to pounce on the decisive stance. It's interesting. Baizi looked at the little Rattata in front of him meaningfully. People often say that he is as timid as a mouse. As a rat elf, the little Rattata is naturally not very courageous. But when the little Rattata in front of him found out that it was unavoidable, Baizi's eyes lit up with the determination and grudge that broke out in that instant. Race, little Rattata. Attribute, general. Characteristic, perseverance. Level, elite middle level 25, 55 100ths. Potential, champion. HP, 30, combat, 56, defense, 35, special attack, 20, special defense, 35, speed, 72. Skills, impact, tail wagging, lightning flash, chi gathering, bite, angry front teeth, crushing, killing front teeth, raid, speed. Genetic skills, resurrection. Status, slightly injured, exhausted. Introduction. The talented little Rattata has a super comprehension of speed tricks. With his deep understanding of lightning flashes, he learned the speed tricks on his own. Is it really fast? It's really talented. To be honest, at this moment, Baizi felt a little bit of heartbeat. Although this is not the best puzzle he expected to hold an ace, such qualifications, as the second team, are completely more than enough. However, just when Baizi was about to subdue the little Rattata, a familiar figure with a slightly embarrassed appearance appeared in front of him, accompanied by fragmented footsteps. A brown spiky head with a half-covered right eye, a black stand-up collar, short sleeves and purple slacks, a slanted elf backpack looped around his waist, and a green upright worm-type elf with two knives intertwined on his side. Before, it was the flying mantis. And this young boy who suddenly appeared is green. Baizi called out the other party's name and said with a teasing smile, "You seem a little embarrassed. Why, have you tasted the bitter fruit of defeat in the Evergrande Forest?" Both trainers from Junshin Town, Baizi and Qinglu naturally knew each other. Not just acquaintances. It can be seen from Baizi's tone that the relationship between him and Qinglu is not bad. While speaking, Baizi's eyes swept casually towards the flying mantis beside Qinglu. He had been curious about the strength of this blue-green primordial elf for a long time. Race, flying mantis. Attribute, insect flying. Characteristic, technical master. Level, gym beginner level 34, 87 100ths. Potential, king of heaven. HP, 70, attack, 110, defense, 80, special attack, 55, special defense, 80, speed, 105. Skills, lightning flash, stare, continuous slash, click to the point, wing attack, shadow clone, double strike, split, gather gas, high-speed movement. Genetic skill, faint. Open black lens bracket status, perfect close black lens bracket. Introduction. The flying mantis with excellent qualifications and great potential has extraordinary eyesight and reaction speed. Is it a gym-level flying mantis? It is indeed the person who cultivated Qinglu. Taking back his probing gaze, Baizi couldn't help but admire in his heart. Baizi. After nodding to Baizi, Qinglu looked at the field for a while, and finally said to Baizi with a slight frown. "I have been tracking this little Rattata for 3 days. Oh. Baizi frowned. He heard Qinglu's concern for this little Rattata, and at the same time he understood where the injury on this little Rattata came from. But even if they are familiar with each other, it is obviously impossible for him to give up a talented little Rattata like this. It doesn't matter if the relationship is good or not. Baizi will never give in easily to the prey that comes to his mouth." Qinglu obviously also knew that words alone could not make Baizi go backwards, and in a situation like this where multiple trainers value a wild elf at the same time, the Alliance's regulations are generally the instant battle principle. That is, the trainer who fights with him first at the same time period has the right to take the lead. And the current situation. Although he tracked the little Rattata for 3 days, it was Baizi who blocked the opponent at this time and wanted to fight against it. According to the instant battle principle, the first priority, the right to subjugate, is naturally also in Baizi's hands. dash 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 dash. Chapter 18. The Power of the King, The Surprise of Qinglu, Second More. If it was an ordinary elves, even a rare dragon type or even a quasi-god, Qinglu would turn around and leave very simply in the face of such a situation. But this little Lotta is different. Do not know why. From the first sight of seeing each other, that awe-inspiring figure when he was alone defeating a group of giant stingrays, Qinglu had an indescribable sense of destiny, as if the heart had been hit. It was as if this little Radha was destined to have an inseparable connection with himself. Cha tilde. Seemingly feeling the determination of his trainer, the flying mantis suddenly let out a sharp insect chirping, and the twin blades flickering with a cold light swayed slightly, aiming faintly in the direction of Bai Zi. Why, do you want to be tough? Bai Zi suddenly laughed. Ow tilde. And then, with the low roar of the wind speed dog, the endless coercion suddenly burst out, pressing in the direction of Qinglu and the flying mantis. Under the blessing of the wind speed dog's intimidating characteristics, the power of the heavenly king level is almost as real, and just a face-to-face makes the flying mantis stagger to the ground. But even so, the flying mantis still supported its body, blocking most of the pressure for the green behind him. However, even if it's just Yue, the intimidation of the Tianwang level wind speed dog is not something that today's Qinglu can bear. Just in turquoise crumbling. And when Bai Zi was about to speak to stop the wind speed dog, boom! The substantive mental force field rushed into the arena with a burst of red light. One sat cross-legged in the void, with a humanoid body, and a fox-like tawny elf appeared and stood in front of Qinglu and the flying mantis. Went straight to the wind speed dog. In the void, the condensed imposing aura and the pure and vast spiritual power collided head-on, facing each other. In an instant, a distorted scene of lightning and thunder appeared in the middle of the wind speed dog and the suddenly appearing hoodie, and it exploded. The strong wind pressure crushed the grass and trees. For a time flying sand and stone. Countless birds, insects, and beasts were awakened. Bobo, green caterpillar, giant needle bee, needle and Nidona, etc., all kinds of elves scattered and fled. Soon, the smoke dissipated. The elves around ran away. On the other hand, the little Lotta still stayed not far from where he was, and even lay on the ground with his belly up, motionless, and had no intention of running away. Actually, the reason why the little Radha is like this is completely for the sake of helplessness. It wasn't that it didn't want to escape when it was in chaos before, but the strangely colored giant stinger in front of it was really difficult to deal with. Not to mention the sensitive one, its speed was astonishingly fast, and it didn't give it any escape at all. Opportunity. In addition, it suddenly relapsed the old injury, and it was temporarily unable to use the speed. This causes it to be caught up by the opponent instantly if it moves a little. Moreover, this big stinger is called a ruthless, tricks to kill, and it is aimed at killing. Abu, it's killing mice. Escape. Escape the hammer, oh escape. Dash 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 dash. Dash 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 dash. At this moment, it is just a collision of simple momentum and pure spiritual power, but the power of the king-level elves is already fully displayed. That's right, the hoodie that suddenly appeared in front of you is, no doubt, also a heavenly king-level elf. Open black lens bracket race. Hoodie close black lens bracket. Attribute. Super energy. Characteristic. Spiritual power. Level. Peak of Kings, level 69, 61/100. Potential. Champion. HP. 55, attack. 50, defense. 45, special attack. 135, special defense. 95, speed. 120. Skills. Mind power, bending spoons, immobilization, teleportation, fantasy light, reflection wall, exchange of venues, spiritual blades, self-regeneration, spiritual shock, spiritual strength, acting, predicting the future, meditation. Genetic skills, defensive equalization. Status, weak, old. Introduction, entering the stage of old age. The strength of Hudi, whose strength has declined seriously, was once infinitely close to the power of the quasi-god level, but now it has declined to the level of the king, and will continue to decline with the growth of age. What a strong Hudi! What Bai Zi sighed was not the rank of this Hudaru today, the peak of Wang Ding, but the strength of the other party, who had almost entered the ranks of quasi-gods. But because of this, Bai Zi can be sure that the trainer of the Hudi in front of him must be someone else. This Hudi should be Dr. Damu's former partner, right? Bai Zi looked away from Hudi, and then said meaningfully, Qinglu, are you going to use its power to compete with me for this little Rada? Green did not respond immediately. Instead, he looked at the wind speed dog beside Bai Zi with a look of disbelief. Dash 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 dash. Chapter 19. The Shining Giant Gold Monster of the Race King. Changed. Third more. As Bai Zi said, the Hudi beside him was indeed a guardian spirit left by his grandfather, Dr. Omu, for self-defense. Not just him. Even his twin brother, Xiaomao, has one of Dr. Damu's only 3 main forces. As the grandson of Dr. Damu, I don't know how many people are staring at him and Xiaomao, wanting to use this threats to Dr. Oki. Therefore, the necessary precautions are indispensable. But the guardian elves are only guardian elves. It is naturally no problem to protect their safety, but do you want to command them to fight? I am afraid it is difficult to achieve. However, for Qinglu, if he really uses this power that does not belong to him to achieve his goals, even if it is successful, that would only make him feel more ashamed. But now, what surprised him even more, and what he was eager to know, was another thing. Bai Zi, is this wind speed dog your elf? It's natural. Bai Zi smiled and shrugged, after all, I am alone, but I don't have any parents left behind. Sorry. Qinglu suddenly remembered Bai Zi's life experience, and quickly apologized. But at the same time, the shock in his heart, only he can know. Bai Zi, this friend who used to be invisible in the past, has now left him such a big gap. Nothing. Bai Zi waved his hand indifferently. He has been a human being in 2 lifetimes. In fact, he is not as sentimental about his life as others think. Leave gossip for now. At this moment, Bai Zi's cynical expression gradually subsided and became serious. Now, it's time to make your decision. Qinglu, are you sure you want to rob me of this little Lada? Qinglu is one of the few friends he has in this world, and Dr. Damu has indeed helped him a lot. But friendship is friendship, and principles are principles. As a qualified trainer, at this point, Bai Zi will not give in. I'm going to get this little Rada. Qinglu also did not want to let it go, and said decisively. That's what you're going to fight. Wind speed dog. Bai Zi's eyes narrowed, and he planned to strike first, but Qinglu stopped directly in front of Fatian Mantis and Hudi, who were also restless, raised his hands and said, wait. Bai Zi, you misunderstood me. Means talking. He took out an incubator with a grey moire elf egg from his backpack, and said sincerely, I want to use this elf egg in exchange for the right to control little Rada. This is the quasi-god of Fangyuan, the elf egg laid by the giant golden monster. I think so. This should show my sincerity, right? Qinglu looked sincere, and Bai Zi was obviously a little surprised by Qinglu's decision at this time. Even if this little Rada has shown his talent for speed, is it really worth it to exchange for a quasi-god elf egg in order to subdue the opponent? Bai Zi didn't understand Qinglu's special emotion for this little Lada. But have to say, after finding out the result of this elf egg, Bai Zi was indeed moved. Item, Elf Egg of Iron Dumbbell. Qualification, Level 3 God. Introduction, produced in the canyon near Kaifeng City in the Shanao area, the silver-white flashing quasi-god iron dumbbell elf egg breaks through racial restrictions. The natural king is the ultimate qualification that the entire elf group may only give birth to one. 3-level god qualified flash iron dumbbells. Baizi secretly swallowed a saliva. He couldn't help being greedy. Even if the qualification of a 3rd-level god is given to a green caterpillar, he will not let it go. Not to mention, is this still a flash iron dumbbell that eventually evolved into a giant gold monster? You must know that the giant gold monster is a quasi-god elf with excellent dual defense, strong physical attack, and excellent attack surface and resistance. He is simply his best tanker candidate. Such a future king of land warfare. Baizi has no reason to refuse. And Shino area. Chifeng City Additional Valley. Silver-white glitter. According to the clues displayed on the attribute panel, this iron dumbbell might be the absolute trump card of Dao, the champion of Fengyuan region in a few years. That powerful flashing giant gold monster that can briefly resist a 1st-level god. Although it is not clear how the elf egg of this shiny iron dumbbell ended up in Qinglu's hands. But it doesn't matter. Important. He is about to harvest a super quasi-god who can definitely be called an ace in the future. Seeing that Baizi's eyes were deep and silent for a while, Qinglu suddenly asked a little nervously, "Why, don't you like this iron dumbbell?" "Oh, that's not true, it's just that I didn't expect you to care so much about a little Rattata. But since it is really what you love, then I am naturally willing to be an adult beauty." Little Rattata's control right. It's changed. Baizi quickly restrained his thoughts, shook his head, jumped straight off the wind speed dog. He came to Qinglu's side in 3 or 2 steps, took the incubator in Qinglu's hand, then pulled the strap, and turned his diagonal back to his chest. Forward. The whole action is like flowing water. Green still hasn't responded. Baizi had already installed the incubator, put on the shoulder bag again, and straddled back on the furry widened back of the wind speed dog. There is not much time left for the lucky buff, and this situation is obviously not a good time to fight. Therefore, Baizi postponed the task of brushing Qinglu's destiny reward, and prepared to make the best use of it. First, make full use of the lucky day buff on his body to get enough benefits. After all, there are opportunities to fight Qinglu. "Qinglu, I still have things to do, so I'll go ahead and see you next time." Big Stinger Bee. Beer tilde. Accompanied by a sharp insect chirping, the large needle bee spear swung sharply, and swept the unsuspecting little Rattata's abdomen with one blow. After volleying it into the air, it fluttered its wings and chased in the direction of Baizi's departure. Behind. Looking at the little Rattata flying in his direction, the corner of his green mouth twitched, showing a look of joy and eagerness. "It's our turn, Flying Mantis." Chapter 20. The gunshots that broke the tranquility. Asking for support. It looks like this should be my last harvest. In the depths of the vibrant forest, Baizi picked up a green stone with a leaf print from the ground. This is a grass stone. After Baizi's careful identification, the quality is still good, and it can probably sell for 7 or 8. Like 100,000. Feel free to throw it into the storage bag hanging around your waist. Looking at the lucky day buff mark on the personal panel that gradually disappeared after the number returned to 0, Baizi couldn't help but sigh. Be honest. The state with this lucky day buff is really cool. It has only been 24 hours, and his harvest has already included a Zoroha with quasi-god level qualifications, a flash iron dumbbell fairy egg with 3rd-level god qualifications, a property item rock gem, a top-grade grass stone, a number of secondary fire, grass, thunder attribute evolution stones and pearl gem gold beads. This level of luck is simply against the sky. Unfortunately, this lucky day buff can only last for 24 hours, and I don't know if it can be refreshed in the future. It would be great if it could be maintained permanently. Baizi was slightly regretful, and thought so with a little greed. After the lucky day buff disappeared, Baizi didn't plan to go any further. Right now, his position is probably at the outermost periphery of the central area of the Viking forest, and he may occasionally come across the central area of the Heavenly King-level elves. In addition to the elves that can survive here alone, even if they are not at the level of the Heavenly King, are at the gymnasium level, or even the level of the quasi-celestial king. It's really not a good place for stinger bees to train and fight. Therefore, after putting the storage bag in the space back and packing it, Baizi quickly mounted the accompanying wind speed dog and hurried away towards Route 2, which is located on the outskirts of the Joban forest. Beside a forest stream not far from number 2 road, Baizi simply cleaned up an open space, released the elves, and started to build a table and stove, ready to make lunch. Although he is in the wild, Baizi still tries his best to eat delicious food that is as nutritious as possible. After all, as the old saying goes, 3 points practice and 7 points eat. Without sufficient energy intake, how can the elf's body be able to withstand high-intensity training and battles? Become stronger. It's not something that can be achieved by just talking and shouting a few slogans. Therefore, Baizi has always been stingy and tried his best when it comes to spending and paying attention to his elves. For today's meal, he was preparing 3 main elf staple foods, mainly using high-quality elf coarse grains, supplemented by high-quality energy cubes of various types and fruits and vegetables used for seasoning. I also prepared to use local materials to let the giant needlebee go to the creek to catch some wild fish for today's meat dishes. There is no way, including Baizi himself, the giant stinger, Zorua, and the wind speed dog, they are all meat-free types. Eating and drinking is one thing. But meat is also indispensable. In addition, although the taste of 5A synthetic beef, which is as high as thousands of yuan per pound, is not bad, it is easy to get tired of eating too much. Therefore, it is better to catch a few fresh fish, just to change the taste. Before long, the giant hornbees with 7 or 8 river fish strung on the double needles returned to Baizi's side. Baizi stretched out his hand and swept these fish off the double needles of the giant needlebee, while skillfully opening the abdomen for treatment, and at the same time instructing the giant needlebee to wash the fishy smell on his body in the water. You have completed a table of nutritious food, you have a little income, cooking experience plus 2O, cultivation experience plus 1O. Okay, let's start. After filling the fish soup for the 3 elves respectively, and then dividing the marinated and roasted fish meat, Baizi slapped the palm of his hand, and the 3 elves who had been waiting for a long time started immediately. After a while, all of them let out a sigh of relief. Woo tilde. Ow tilde. Seeing this, Baizi couldn't help but rejoice. He picked up a bunch of grilled fish and brought it to his mouth. He took a bite, and the crispy and fragrant taste suddenly filled his lips and teeth. The fish is good, and my craftsmanship has really improved. After a sumptuous lunch, Baizi didn't use a cushioned reclining chair, but leaned directly on the prone Fengsu dog, resting on his back on the grass, with his eyes closed, with his soft and warm down on his head. And this little guy, Zorua, followed suit, and coiled up directly on his belly. After a while, there was an even sound of breathing. On the other hand, the hornbee, who was the first to follow him, didn't seem to be accustomed to making such intimate actions. Be alone. Relying on the top of the nearby treetops, quietly looking into the distance, while secretly shouldering the duty of sentry. Enrin's noontime passed quietly in such a peaceful atmosphere. But just when Baizi was about to fall asleep, bah! A loud gunshot suddenly woke him up.